For the first time since Vietnam, 2 living service members have received the Medal of Honor for the same battle. Staff Sgt. Clinton Romeshay received his in February, and today President Obama presented the medal to Staff Sgt. Ty Carter. David Martin has his story.
The Battle of Combat Outpost Keating, seen here in video shot by the Taliban as they fired down on the isolated base, was probably the most desperate of the Afghan war. You can measure it by casualties, half the 54 American defenders dead or wounded, or by courage. 2 medals of honor for the same battle.
The 2 medals tell the truth of how terrible that day was.
The Army has produced an intricate recreation of what Sergeant Ty Carter did that day, but no diagram can capture what happened on October 3rd, 2009.
The enemy was above us, behind us, all around us. We were cut off, surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned, low on ammo, and everybody who's friendly within sight was either wounded or dead.
Carter raced across the base to reinforce a guard post. We're not positive, but that may well be him. Running across open ground under fire is a good way to get yourself killed.
Yes, well, I wasn't thinking of that at the time. I was thinking of the more bullets I saw impact, the faster I needed to go.
He had to cross that open ground again and again, bringing fresh supplies of ammo to the guard post.
Except this time, the incoming fire was more intense, and I think they were gunning for me because the explosions were close enough to where the concussion was actually pushing me as I ran from side to side.
2 soldiers at the guard post, Sergeants Justin Gallegos and Vernon Martin, were killed by machine gun fire, and Specialist Stefan Mace lay gravely wounded.
It almost looked like he was crying, but he was too dehydrated to form any tears. He said, "Please help me."
Carter left the shelter of an armored Humvee and went to Mace's side. You're doing this while the enemy's shooting at you?
Yes, I was so focused on helping Mace that I didn't notice it and it didn't faze me.
Carter and Sergeant Bradley Larson, both now wounded by shrapnel, dashed across the open ground one more time, carrying Mace on a stretcher.
I thought to myself, if I was ever gonna run so hard to where my lungs lit on fire and my chest exploded from my heart going out, this would be that day.
But in war, courage is not always rewarded. Stefan Mace died on the operating table.
The fact that either I didn't get to him in time or I didn't do the right thing made me believe that I had failed fully and completely.
You couldn't have tried any harder.
You don't think about that when it's happening.
Thinking about what Sergeant Carter did doesn't make it any easier to understand where he found the courage. But it does convince you he did not fail. David Martin, CBS News, The Pentagon.